Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Deidre Anderson and I write romance about Black women and the men who love them. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell so you can be notified each and every time I upload a video, and hit that like button so I can know you like my content. Today we are continuing Tropey Wednesdays and we will be diving into 3 romance tropes that you may want to dive into yourself or try out or just learn some more about. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back. As I said, we're only doing 3 today as I'm not feeling the best. I'm trying to keep a smile on my face, but my back is killing me. So we're going to go through this one as quickly as I can. I won't be diving into the examples because I have the books in my head. I just can't remember the names of them for the life of me. And I want to give you guys a video as we didn't do one last week. So what I'll do is that I'll leave the examples, my recommendations for each of the tropes, if I have one, down in the description box. So be sure to check that out down below. I'll even put the pictures of the books somewhere. I don't know how the YouTubers do it, but I'll figure it out. I'll probably try to put an image of the book somewhere alongside that would be my recommendation for the trope. Okay, if I can find it or if I can figure it out. I may not be able to, but I'll try my best. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's dive in. If you see me looking over again, it's because I'm looking at my computer, so bear with me. But the first trope we will be diving into is parent/childcare worker. Now, this trope is pretty synonymous with the nanny trope. However, it can be, in this case, the childcare worker can be anyone from a nanny, it can be a babysitter that just comes and goes. It can be a childcare worker from Secret Service, not Secret Service, social service, Secret Services. Come on now, from social services. But it can be anyone that's responsible or their job is childcare, right? And so, like the nanny trope, you're having one of your protagonists being the parent, the other one being the childcare worker, and they spark up a romance. Now, for this one, I can give you the example right out the bat because whenever I'm thinking about this, the same book comes to my mind, and that's Reef, A Buff Male Nanny by Rebecca Witherspoon. I love that book. So that comes to my mind instantly. So there you go. I gave you an example for this one, but you want the key things, just as before, that you want to keep in mind when doing this trope is that you want to make it believable. Don't just throw it in there that, oh, they're having feelings for each other just because they have feelings for each other. And also you want to be respectful of the children, right? Because it's childcare, because you have the children in there, you need to work in that love interest is not only good for the parent, but also a good role model or a good caregiver to that child. So they are a caregiver, so you're going to have to play up the fact that they're good with kids, that they do what's right for the kid, even if that means breaking apart the relationship from the parent, right? So you can play with that dynamic and see where it takes you and make sure that the romance is believable. All right, number 2. If I can do all 5, I'll do. I'll just see how long I can manage to sit here. Okay, number 2 that we're diving into is pen pals. This is the one I told you. I know the book. I can tell you what happens in the book, but for the life of me, I don't know if it's the pain, but the name of the book is slipping me. So I'll include that down below, but it was a good book. But I can't, it's just I'm drawing a blank right now. I can't remember the name of the book and I can't remember the author, but I will tell you what happens into it. So the trope is pen pals, right? As the name suggests, your protagonists are pen pals at the beginning of the book or become pen pals throughout the duration of the book. They basically, just as pen pals suggest, they send letters back and forth to keep in touch. It starts as a normal friendship. They're just sending letters. This can be pen pals with people that are incarcerated, or pen pals with people that are just maybe childhood friends. Like at school, normally they would have this program where you could send letters to someone that may need a friend somewhere else in the world, and maybe they continued that, right? So you want to build that. Eventually these pen pals meet and the romance buds, and they actually become in a good relationship, happily ever after, happy for now. Of course, they'll have their ups and downs, as they'll have to get to know each other in reality. A pen pal is one thing. You can tell anyone anything you want in letters, right? But actually being around that person and learning their ins and outs and their little tweaks and their little quirkiness is a whole different story. So you can have fun with that. It can be a really fun trope to play around with. And that brings me to the book that I cannot, if you guys remember the name of the book before I do, like, put it down below, right? Let me know. I'm not getting crazy. I know I read the book. It was basically, they were pen pals when it started, right? And they were writing back and forth, right? And eventually, I think she was about 7 or so when she sent a letter. Something happened to her, right? Something traumatic happened to her, and she wrote a letter explaining, and she got no response, right? And then she moved, so she just assumed the pen pal didn't care, didn't answer, didn't anything, right? So she moved out. Eventually they moved, her family moved, she grew up. Eventually she comes back, right? And she's going through and she finds a letter that came in. She finds one letter that came in before, and she's like, wait a minute. And then she keeps finding, well, she gets one letter when she's an adult, and then she doesn't open it because she's so upset, like, why are you writing me now? But then she goes back to her childhood home and she finds letters that she never received, but she assumed that he just didn't care, didn't respond, right? So now she reads them all as an adult, and she is gutted to find out that she missed all these letters. And so she talks to a friend, and they hitchhike all the way over to where the pen pal is actually living, and they stop the pen pal. They stop the, well, not really stalk. Stalk is a very strong word, but they watch the pen pal because she wants to see if he's really real, and if that's who, because she gets an idea who she thinks this pen pal is. The pen pal is, turns out pen pal wasn't using his right name, because the pen pal is a celebrity and he didn't really want her mixed up in stuff. So they strike up a conversation again. They start sending emails again, all while she's going out there to spy on him. It's a whole time. I could go into the whole book. I just can't remember what the book is called. But it was a good book, and it was done really well, and it was really entertaining and funny. So if you remember, if you have any idea what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments below, because I'm racking my brain and I cannot for the life of me remember what the name of the book was or even who wrote it. But I know I read it. So it's just, sometimes my brain draws blanks. It's just one of those days. So I'm really sorry about that. If I remember before I post the video, I'll include it in the description below, or put the picture along the side here like the YouTubers do. But we'll see. Okay, we'll move on to trope number 3. Okay, so trope number 3 is performer, right? This one is also self-explanatory. One of your protagonists or both of your protagonists are performers, right? So you see that part of the life. Sure, you see the regular glitz and glam, but you also see behind the scenes of how stressful it may be as a performer, how hard it may be for them to find love outside of the groupies, etc., and how those groupies play into when they're actually trying to find love. So it can be a really good time. You can really dive into this and create a romance that is electric, so to speak, as all the paparazzi, all the groupies and stuff will be causing a strain on your relationship. So the onus will be on you to make sure that it's believable. Don't come like, oh, she's not like other girls. Sure, that's an overly done trope that we haven't even covered before, but I don't really like it. So you want to make sure that there is something that stands out. Not that everything, oh, she's nothing like other girls, but there's something that stands out about this person to your protagonist, to your performer protagonist, that is attracting them to that person, right? It's not just about looks, because I'm sure they see attractive groupies every day, right? So what is it that makes your other protagonist, your love interest, stand out to this performer that attracts them to them and keeps them going back together, right? You also are going to have to think of a good thing to adhere them together, because a performer is going to probably be on the road, right? They're going to be on the tour bus going around. So you have to consider what's going to keep them either coming back to wherever that love interest city is, or going to cause the love interest to be on the road with the performer. So there are multiple ways you can take this, and it is often paired with some tropes that, because of that, can be paired with the bodyguard trope, because a bodyguard will be on the road with them. And also it's sometimes paired with fake dating if the protagonist needs to clean up their reputation or etc. Sort of like my book that's releasing, Changing Her Rules, is he's not a performer, he's an underwear model, but he falls for his PR representative, is all I can say. But the PR representative has a bunch of rules that she just cannot break by being with him. So it's a fun time, but it can be a fun time. And a book that I know does this really well, shoot, I'm drawing another blank. Okay, I apologize. I'm going to put that book down below, that recommendation down below for you, along with my Changing Her Rules. If you want to check that out, I'll put that down below as well, because that will be, it's not really a performer, he's a model, but it does follow the same ins and outs and the same sort of things that would happen in this trope, basically. So I will put that down below for you, right? Because I'm doing such a bad job at these examples, let me cover one more. So we'll be talking about 4 instead, all right? So I'll give you a bonus one. All right, so my bonus one will be Playboy. Again, pretty self-explanatory. This is basically generally the hero of the story, the male protagonist, which is oftentimes the playboy, like a womanizer. He basically likes being with women and he makes it known, right? He's there for a good time, not a long time. He just wants to hit it and go. Granted, it's mostly the male protagonist, but this can be the female protagonist as well. It's whoever they just want to have a good time. They're not looking for love. They're not trying to get hitched or stuck with anyone. They're trying to basically have a good time and keep it pushing. They're focusing on other things in their life. But of course, life and romance has other plans. And as the author, you want to basically go in and mess with their heads, mess with them. They want to be a playboy, they're going that lifestyle. But as soon as they meet that love interest, a wrench is thrown into their playboy lifestyle. All of a sudden, those people that they normally hook up with aren't looking so appealing anymore, because their mind is stuck on the love interest. They can't think of anyone else. They don't want to be with anyone else. So they feel like they're broken. And they go through the motions of talking to their friends to wonder, hey, what's going on here? Why can't I, I think my thing is broken, you know, it won't do anything for anyone but the other person. So they find themselves fantasizing about the other person, leaning into the idea of being with the other person, and then eventually they give in and explore something with a love interest as they just can't see themselves with anyone else anymore. So the thing with this though is that you don't want it to be, you want it to be believable, right? So obviously your protagonist, your playboy protagonist, isn't going to just get up one morning and is like, whew, I'm changed, I'm no longer a playboy. That won't work. So you have to take him through the motions, or take her through the motions, right? Take the protagonist through the motions of, hey, they're still going to be trying to push back. So they're feeling the emotions, but they're not going to accept it readily. They're going to be pushing back, and they're going to basically be trying to still pursue that playboy lifestyle. They're going to be going out there and arranging hookups. They're going to even meet these hookups, but when it comes time for them to carry out the act, they won't be able to, because either they'll see a picture of the love interest in front of their minds, or they'll hear the love interest, or they'll just be overcome with guilt that, like, they'll realize, what am I doing, or what's wrong with me, and then they'll tell the person they can't, and then they'll go complain to other people that, hey, something's going on, I don't know what it is, and they'll start seeking the love interest. So take your reader through the motions, right? Okay, guys, I think that's all I can manage right now. Again, my name is Deidre Anderson. I am a romance author. I write about Black women and the men who love them. So if you are into some interracial romance, some African American romance, some Black love, some multicultural love and diversity in your books, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and ding that bell so that you can know each and every time I upload. Remember, I have a pre-order out now. It's called Changing Her Rules. It follows a woman who has ridiculous rules of how to get over an annoying ex-boyfriend. And she is basically trying to stick to those rules with all her might, but life and my male protagonist is doing everything in their power to ensure that she doesn't. So if you're in for a good time and you want to check out a fun yet steamy read, go ahead and pre-order Changing Her Rules. The link will be down in my description box. Now guys, that's all I have for you. So until I see you again, be kind to each other and treat everything with love, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!